So one of the reasons why we love free-to-play games so much is because of its economy. I mean, we get so many new items, so many new upgrades, so many updates because it is free-to-play, because we're consistently doing these micro little purchases, so they're making these micro little updates consistently, and we love that. There's zero barrier for entry, so tons of people are playing it pretty much non-stop. And it's great because that means the developers can make stuff for the game non-stop. And these are going to be 10 games. This is a top 10 list in celebration of the 10 games that do the free-to-play economy, the free-to-play market, their free-to-play lifestyle the best.
FreeMMOStation.com.
Now, in the genre of co-op, we have Dungeon Defenders 2. Yeah, Dungeon Defenders 1 was a buy-to-play title, but Dungeon Defenders 2 is going to be free to play. You can spend like $20 right now to get into early access, but when it releases, it's going to be completely free to play. Now, what does this mean? There potentially might be DLC characters, there potentially might be cosmetic items, but in the end, nothing is going to be pay to win, which is really what you want when it's a competitive co-op experience. Yeah, we're not going to have like a MOBA gameplay or anything, but it still is going to be like tower defense, co-op, defending dungeons, you know, Dungeon Defenders. You don't want anything to give anybody one huge advantage unless they earned that advantage, unless they crafted that item or found that loot. You don't want to give anybody an advantage. Dungeon Defenders 2 is just going to have cosmetic items, and yes, you can earn everything in this game with in-game currencies. You can unlock characters. So overall, its shop and everything about it is going to be completely anti-pay to win, and even though this isn't a competitive PvP title, that's fantastic to hear. Okay, for open world PvP MMO, we have Albion Online, which has not released yet, but I have gotten my hands on it and I have played it and I really enjoy it. I think it's a great game. It has a huge amount of polish and character, and even right now in its alpha state, it's got a lot of content, so I can't wait to play the game. But what makes it so good and what makes its economy so great is that it's literally just not going to have a cash shop. It's just going to be completely free to play. Now, how many games can say that? How many games are completely free to play that's actually multiplayer? And to such a scale. This game is going to be played on mobile, on PC, on browser. It's going to be completely cross-platform. And still, considering all this, all its production costs and everything, really it's just getting by because of the founder packs. Yes, it is expensive to get into these alphas into betas. In fact, if you went into the alpha right now, it's going to cost you at least $50. That's expensive. But when the game comes out, it's literally going to be completely free. And that's just awesome. Okay, so next, the popular genre that we're going to be talking about in free-to-play is vehicle combat. This is going to be games like War Thunder, Robocraft, or the obvious contender, World of Tanks. But however, all these games definitely have a significant amount of grind to them because vehicle combat is very strategic, very in-depth with customization, etc., and especially World of Tanks, it takes a long time to actually get geared up to a competitive level, and even then, sustaining that level of competitiveness takes a lot of money or either a lot of time. Gear up, there's no grind whatsoever. If you want to buy everything in the game, it costs like 13 bucks. It costs no money to buy this whole game. Not only does it give you an option to just buy out the whole game, but literally grinding up and getting all the gear takes like a day. It doesn't even take a full 24 hours. Just playing this game casually, you're gonna have everything that you want pretty much instantly, and there's actually a good amount of content, a good amount of meaningful content. Nothing like golden shells that give your bullets extra penetration or whatever. Gear Up isn't exactly a simple game, but its payment options are extremely simple and easy on the eyes. It makes me want to spend money just because I want to support this kind of development in free-to-plays from now on. Now, for the category of zombie survival or survival MMO, we have H1Z1. Now, this is going to be up to speculation because H1Z1 hasn't completely released, but its main competitor, Unturned, also does free-to-play very, very well. The whole game is completely free, and you just pay for the option to customize your character, kind of similar to Minecraft. But what makes H1Z1 so good is that what it does for a cash shop is actually fun. Like, there's things on this cash shop that make you want to purchase things. So yeah, not all the time is it good not having a cash shop. Sometimes it is cool having cash shops and giving us things that we really want to purchase. So H1Z1 gives you the ability to actually purchase events, and this is something that almost no other free-to-play game does. You can actually purchase events, such as calling in a supply drop. You can call in a supply drop for an entire server. Yeah, I guess you can figure that could potentially be pay to win, but that's not how it works. Everyone has an equal amount of chance to come and loot all this stuff. Not only that, but it also spawns a wave of zombies too. You know, in a way, it's kind of like saying that you're buying beers for everyone in the room. Sure, you might get a taste yourself, but in the end, everyone's having a good time, right? Here we have Hearthstone. Now Hearthstone is a true collecting card game. It's not a game that has cards, and it's not just deck building. Like, you literally need to collect the cards. What's so great about this game, and being free to play, is that you're literally just given tons of cards. And there's so many different decks, and there really is a plethora of cards to collect. But what's so cool is that, kind of like Team Fortress 2, you can craft items, and also you are just given free stuff all the time. Now there are some items in this game, it's sort of like the DLC adventure packs. You do have to purchase those if you don't play them on the first week where they're free, but it's really easy to farm up what you need in order to get all these cards. They have the arena mode where you just pretty much instantly win cards, and you win cards based on how well you're doing. Also, through normal gameplay, you accrue points in order to spend those in order to get card packs. All in all, it gives us a shop where we want to purchase new items, we want to actually buy these things, and also it gives us a shop that's not pay to win, which is significantly more difficult in collecting card games than probably any other genre, period. So we definitely have to give a shout out to Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft. Alright, so for our arena first-person shooter category, we have Team Fortress 2, and this is pretty much a no-brainer. Team Fortress 2 is known for bringing a great free-to-play game, period, as well just because it has an amazing polish and a huge amount of depth and also content. But also because that content is so easily accessible, and well, okay, some of the cosmetic items are really hard to get, but it's because it has such a sheer amount of depth with those items. You know, there's so many, there's such a plethora of items, and plus, a lot of the mechanical items, like different guns, different loadouts, you actually make a big difference, and it's so easy to get all these different items. You have crafting, and you can also get cosmetic items from crafting. You are just given gifts of items all the time. You're just getting so much for free. And it's so amazing because anything that you would have to grind for, or anything that you would have to craft for or spend hours in game to get, all that is purely trim. It's not like you're grinding forever and ever just to get a basic ability or a basic weapon that you would need to be competitive. No. If you need anything, even at the very start, if you just make a new account, you can rent items that you don't have. In this game, you have all maps, all characters, all game types, everything unlocked that you need to unlock. And weapons are easily given. Like I said, you can even rent them. So not only is it an amazingly polished game, but it also has an amazing free-to-play economy, which is absolutely compounded by the fact that Valve has its marketplace, where you can actually go and purchase items from other players directly. Absolutely, some of these items would normally be like $4 or something, you can get for literal pennies. Next up on the list we have, of course, for action RPG, Path of Exile. Path of Exile is an amazing addition to free-to-plays just because it's so good, but it's also so fair. The PvE in this game is even competitive. You have PvE and you have PvP, and there's nothing in the shop that you can purchase that'll give you an edge. So yeah, the game actually does have a good level of difficulty, and they want it like that. The ebb and flow of the game, the difficulty, the challenge, the adventure of it is not going to be spoiled by some stupid cash shop that's going to let you skip a level or give you infinite lives for 10 minutes. No, everything in the cash shop is completely cosmetic, which is amazing. This allows Path of Exile to do something that a lot of games can't in the free-to-play market, and that's going to have a competitive PvE environment, and that's why it's thriving. Alright guys, on to the genre of third-person shooter. I have to give a mention to Nosgoth because I love Nosgoth. I think it's an amazing game, it's really well polished, and it's competitive, and there's a couple of things that we need in a free-to-play shop for competitive games. And one, that's going to be renting. If you don't have a free rotation of sorts, and if you don't have the ability to rent items like in Team Fortress 2, you are just not going to have a competitive game. It's just not going to be fair, and that's kind of what we saw in Blacklight Retribution, because that was just way too grind-based. In this game, you do have renting, you can purchase items, and you have a shop that doesn't incentivize grinding whatsoever. You do have things like boosters and etc. to mitigate whatever grind that does exist, if there is any, but it's so awesome because leveling, you are rewarded with skins. You actually get an evolution skin for your class when you level up that class and stuff. Also, by leveling, you are given free class tokens, and you can unlock them easily. Also, from just playing the game, you get an in-game currency, just like any other free-to-play game, which you can use to purchase items, etc., permanently, and you're actually given this stuff generously. Now, the skins, I think they look really well done, they're extremely high quality, and they're definitely worth the money, but the item shop overall is just very fair, very balanced, and personally, my favorite thing is that they allowed us to get these different perks and different items, but not only can we just purchase these permanently, but through normal gameplay, you can actually unlock special variations of these items. These niche versions of these weapons can only be obtained through playing the game. So it's absolutely not pay to win. It's just a big shop with a lot of content. If you want to spend money on it, go for it. If not, don't. It doesn't take that long to get these things. And like I said, you can rent them. All in all, if a game needs an item shop, and if it's not just going to give you the option to buy it all or just give it to you all for free, then it should be done like this. And now for the MOBA genre, this is probably the most heatedly contested genre here, and I'm gonna give it to Dota 2. Now, why is that? Now, a lot of people are probably gonna be like, no, Smite! No, League of Legends, obviously. No, it's gonna be Dota 2, because Dota 2 just gives you everything already. You get every character. No other MOBA does that. Now, yeah, Smite, it's awesome, because you can purchase everything, you know, it's like 30 bucks, you can purchase all gods and all future gods. That's pretty freaking cool. But we gotta give it to Dota 2, because cosmetics are even just gifted to you. You have all sorts of different things that you can just buy in the game. You can add embellishments to your items so that they track kills or wards placed. Dota 2 has an awesome item shop that also supports the community. The community itself is actually putting items onto this storefront. You can purchase things and support not just the game, but the community in general. So yes, it has a store that makes you want to purchase things. It has awesome items that are totally worth it. Not only that, but it's also tied in, just like Team Fortress 2, to the Valve marketplace, where some of these items, they do cost some money, but you can purchase them from players. So if an item was exclusive, maybe a player has it and is selling it. Maybe a whole set is $4 and you just want one item from the set. Then for just literal pennies, you can purchase that item from the set. Dota 2 just gives you so many options in terms of sheer cosmetic amounts and also ways of buying it. Dota 2 mechanically hands you everything and cosmetically gives you the world, at least in terms of options. There's also no incentive to grind whatsoever or any sort of pay-to-win mechanic, even in the slightest, like masteries and runes that we see in League of Legends. So yeah, there's that. And now for the genre that you guys probably have been excited for, and that's going to be the best free-to-play fantasy MMORPG. So this is going to be your general MMORPG, you know, your World of Warcraft clones, pretty much the majority of games out there as well fall into this category. So what game does free-to-play the best in this category? The answer is TERA. TERA does it the best because literally everything in this game is completely free. Everything. You can earn everything in this game for free. And the things that are just cosmetic or the overlays or just some cute mounts that really don't have any sort of impact on gameplay whatsoever, you can get that in a cash shop, sure. But in the end, its cash shop is completely separated from its gameplay. You can get boosters and stuff, but really in the end, TERA as a whole is completely free to play, which is more than RuneScape can say, which is known as the free-to-play MMORPG. So TERA is a great game in itself, and it's fun, it's mechanical, and I'm really glad that it's not pay to win. They definitely had a lot of opportunity to make it pay to win, and they didn't, and so that's why I have to advocate it as the best free-to-play economy for MMORPGs. Alright guys, so that was it. Simply put, that was the top 10 best games that do free-to-play right. You know, their economies, they're amazing, okay? I mean, like, comparatively, right? We don't want pay-to-win. We're tired of freemium games, right? Freemium or premium free-to-play games. We want legitimate free-to-play markets. We want legitimate free-to-play games. And that's what we just gave you here. Hopefully, we'll see more in the future. So thanks for watching. I'm Skylent Shore with FreeMMOStation. I had fun putting together the list. Hopefully, you had fun watching it. And hopefully, we'll see you again later. So like and subscribe.
Still not sick and tired of all the MOBAs yet? Good for you, because the developers of Heroes of Newerth has just announced another one, Strike. This is another free-to-play MOBA, and the studio expects the two games to compete between